6 years ago, my wife took nothing but an ideal and faith and turned it into a multi-million-dollar business with multiple streams of income. As a woman possessed, she overcame all obstacles and created multiple streams of wealth that has impacted our family for generations to come. From mental health professional to therapist to author to CEO, she is a constant reminder of the grace of God over her life. Get ready to listen to and take notes from Stenell, the money therapist, as she schools you on money, entrepreneurship, and life skills that was not taught. No more excuses. Wake up!
Thank you for that introduction, husband. Welcome back to No More Excuses. Wake up. Each topic is on money, entrepreneurship, and life skills. This week, our topic is going to be about money. I want to walk you through what I went through as far as finances, as far as getting out of debt, how my husband and I were able to with debt. And so I want to give you some information about that, because debt, I always say, it cripples you. It keeps you in a place that you don't want to be in. And so I decided that I didn't want to be in debt anymore. And we all go through that. We don't want debt, but I wanted to live a different lifestyle. I wanted to be able to do what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it. And I still wanted to be a responsible adult. So basically did not really know how. Always been okay with managing money, but not so great. And when I say not so great, I would write things down as it comes in. I would write it down as I make purchases, but I never really had a detailed plan as far as having some type of spreadsheet or as far as having some type of budget. I never really had a budget. When my check came in, I would write down everything that I did, but I did not plan it. And that really was the problem. I found Dave Ramsey and I learned his 7 baby steps. And when I learned something, I expedite it. I do whatever I need to do to get it done. Back in 2017, we were $50,000 in debt. I learned the 7 baby steps and I just took off. And from taking off, I started FBU classes. I did 2 classes, and then my girl came in, Tamika. She helped me with a second class. My husband helped me with the first class, and we were just working these different classes, helping people with their finances, and I went all in. I also took Dave Ramsey Master. He has a certificate program where you learn to be a financial coach. I went in, y'all, like I'm telling you, I went in. What I learned is that doing the baby steps, and I did the baby steps, and I did everything Dave said. However, everything is not for everybody. And I noticed that you have to be 100% in with the baby steps. And while I was doing the baby steps, I was also doing my thing, not even realizing I was doing both. So with doing that, my system is called the burner syndrome. And as I was doing the baby steps, when you have baby step 1 and emergency fund and all of that, I did that 100%, but I also had to live. And with Dave, basically you can't live. You have to pay off debt no matter how many years that take. That did not work for me. That did not work for my family. That did not work for my husband and I, because we still wanted to be able to live. We still wanted to be able to plan and do things that everybody was doing, but also be mature and be able to save and not have debt, because paying debt every 30 days is not good. I did not like that at all. So one of the things that I did was I went online and I printed out 3 months of bank statements for my personal and my business accounts. I'm not going to talk about business today because this topic is not entrepreneurship. This topic is money. But for my personal, I printed the bank accounts. And one thing, what I noticed is that I was spending, well, my husband and I, we were spending $250 or more a week in the areas of eating out and movies. And of course, $250 a week, that adds up. That's a lot of money. And so that was a struggle. And I found us not really being able to just grow in that area because it was just too much money and not being able to identify how much was just being spent. So after pulling them bank statements, it just made me realize how I really had to get my life together. And so I started with the burner syndrome. And basically what I do is I equate, or I have a correlation between kitchen burners and finances. And Also, with my burner syndrome, it's a spreadsheet. So you cannot do this without my spreadsheet. So I do have a spreadsheet that you can get for free. If you email me at contact@StenellTheMoneyTherapist.com, you can get that spreadsheet for free. Just request the spreadsheet. And you cannot do this without that spreadsheet, because the spreadsheet is the end result. When you think about cooking and you have your burners, I teach the concept of basically having your high flames and having your low flames. Each burner has an automatic draft set up. So you want to think of flame number 1, 2, 3, 4, and they all have an automatic draft. So everything that you're doing, your money is automatically coming out. Because I had to learn while I was doing Dave's plan is that I still had to be able to live. I can't just put vacations on hold for 4 or 5 years. That's not realistic. And one thing that I did learn teaching in his FBU classes is that people still wanted to live, and people were not really consistent. They will go and spend their emergency fund. They will, after they charge up their card and they cut up their card, they will open up their card. They wouldn't close it out. So with this, there is no oops. It's being very intentional in what you're doing, and you're still living. So your burner 1 is your debt, right? So your debt is the high flame. You're being very aggressive with that. All your money is going to that debt. But the way you get to that debt is after you complete burner 2, 3, and 4. Your burner is at the end. So when you see the actual spreadsheet, you'll be able to see the end result of what's left over. Because the spreadsheet is everything you're plugging in. It's an Excel spreadsheet, but what's left over goes to your debt. So you want to make sure that you're doing the least bit of living, but you're still living, but you want to do the least bit of living so your debt can be paid. So when I say living, I'm going to actually break them down. So burner 2 is your emergency. That's the account something happened. I'm not talking about buying shoes or watch, going on vacation. I'm talking about a real life situation, y'all. I'm talking about somebody pass away. I'm talking about if you lose your job. Anything that has to get done, that is an emergency. So again, that's an automated draft. So your emergency is just basically what I personally did. $50 came out of Tony check, $50 came out of my check. So every 2 weeks, that was $200. I say start with at least $100 a month, but I do suggest at least $200. And before you know it, that money adds up. And so you want to make sure that burner 2 is you have at least $100, max $200 automatically coming out your check. So you're going to do an automated draft. And you're going to do this automated draft, and that's going to go towards your emergency. There is no set amount. So I'm not going to say, well, at least have $1,000. No, this is ongoing. This do not end. This do not stop. This is ongoing. And then your burner 3 is your car maintenance, because you drive, right? Your car going to stop. Things happen. You need an oil change every 3,000 miles. You need to protect your car. You need brakes. You need tune-ups. You need all of that. So you need a car account. These are the must things that must happen. So in this car account, there's an automated draft. And then that automated draft is the same thing as your emergency. Automatically, the money is coming out. It is coming out of your account. So in our car account, we fund $60 a month. Still to this day, when I tell you about the emergency in the car, still to this day, we fund $60 bi-weekly. $60 come out of directly out of my check. The $60 does not come out of Tony's check. It just come out of my check. So that's $120 a month. It adds up. It completely adds up. But around September, I increased the $60 to $75 because snow, where we live in New Jersey. And so sometimes you have to get those tires and all those things. But if you just put $60 bi-weekly, which is $120 a month in the account, or automated draft, okay, that's the burner, you will see the difference. So now we have 2 burners going on. We have 3, but we didn't get to that burner 1 yet, because that burner 1 is really at the end, but that's your focus. So we have the emergency account coming out, at least $200, and we have the car account coming out. That's an extra $120 a month. So if you do the math, that's 200 and 120, that's $320 a month, okay? $320 a month so far, because you have to think about you. All your money can't be coming out of one account. People say to me, even when I call banks, Miss Myers, wow, you have so many accounts. How do you live? And I say, well, how do you live with just one account? How do you have one account? So anyway, y'all, I'm gonna get sidetracked. Burner 4 is personalized burner. This is a burner that you can name or do whatever you want to do that's important to you. It can be anything from Christmas, Thanksgiving, weddings. If you want an extra car maintenance, pet care, babysitting, this is a personalized burner. Again, this is a flame that is going on with the other burner. So this is automated as well. You can name it whatever you want. Now in my accounts, all my accounts are named. I do have a Christmas fund, a Thanksgiving fund, a car maintenance fund. I have an account for everything, and I have a debit card for everything. But for the sake of teaching you, I teach you the 4 burners, so it's not so much. So that way you can personalize it and you can name it whatever you want to name. In this account, you can set any amount that you want to set, but do not let that amount exceed $60. You want to keep it at a minimum, because again, we're literally talking about saving and getting that, not just savings, but getting that debt paid off, because at the end, that debt, that's what you're going to knock out, and you're going to throw that on whatever your bill is, and we're going to get to that. So in this personalized burner, you're going to do whatever it is you want to do with this personalized burner. Weddings, birthdays, pet care, whatever it is that you want to do, you want to put money up. I say no more than $60. You can max it to $75. I do not like to give a value, because again, I did my budget in a way it worked for me. I knew that I did not want to go over $100 when it came to savings. So it's all about your money and how it fit for you, because everything, you can't just have all black. It can't be all black and white. It can't. It has to work for you. And this burner syndrome actually works. So in that 4 personalized budget, you just want to make sure, Christmas don't change. Christmas is December 25th. It does not change. You want to start planning that. So if you want to start planning that maybe 6 months in advance, and just say, okay, I have my Christmas money and it's personalized, and let me start with another personalized, however you want to do it. But this personalized is completely for whatever account, and it is draft. Now, we have our 4 burners going, okay? So we have that debt, which is burner number 1, but it's really that burner number 1 that you're going to, after you put all your information, all your money in your spreadsheet, what's left over is really burner number 1. So you want this on a high flame, because you want to make sure that your other burners are very low. So your other burners is a small amount. So we already talked about having $320 between your emergency fund, your car maintenance, and now your personalized. If that's another $120, you do the math, and that's how much it's coming out. So 320, 440, I believe, if I'm doing the math correctly. I don't have a calculator, I'm just doing math. So you have your 4 burners. Okay, now what? The oven. Every stove have an oven. So yes, y'all, I got the oven for you. Yes, thank me later. So the oven is your car account. Now, I need you to track with me. The oven is slow. It's a steady account. So you need a car. You need a car. That's your transportation. You need to get to work. Unless you live in Philadelphia, New York, you need a car, right? A car is very crucial. So instead of you saying, oh my goodness, I had a lot of clients saying, oh my gosh, my car died. Oh, I need a new car. And now they're going into debt, and they get in a car note. So the minute that car leaves off that lot, and it's not worth as much. So you have, and it's your oven, and that's for your car account. So literally, I save a total of $385 a month. I had $142.50 that was drafted out of my check, and that was on a monthly basis. It came to $285. This $285, y'all, I'm telling you, it added up quickly, very, very quickly. So I'm going to tell you a little story. So I have a 2007 Chrysler Aspen, and right now my Aspen, as shooting this podcast, my Aspen is out for the count. It's out for the count. However, before my Aspen went out, I saved approximately a little over $3,500 in a year. I was throwing money, just putting money in, even if I had just a little extra money. But I saved $142.50 bi-weekly. My husband, one day, he was driving. I always wanted a Lexus, one of those old Lexus. You know, the old Lexus. He was looking at a black Lexus a long time ago, and I fell in love with it. So he came. I said to him, I always wanted a gold or a all white old 90s Lexus, like back in the day with the all leather. And one time he sent me a picture. He said, guess what I found? And I was still driving my truck, but I knew my truck had over 225,000 miles. And guess what? This Lexus was, I call it kitted out with the CD player and all of that. Yes, 110 miles my Lexus had. And my Lexus that I drive right now, I do not have a car note. My Lexus is a 1990, all kitted out. I'm telling you, it's the limited coach edition, and it's cream leather seats, sunroof, everything. People stop me on the street for my Lexus. Y'all look. Y'all can say what y'all want to say, but my Lexus is thebomb.com. And guess what? I don't have no debt. So, some people are like, oh my gosh, Stenell, you driving that Lexus, but you can afford a car note. No, I can't. Cannot. Will not. Not doing it. Not doing it. Don't tell me what I can afford. Don't like car notes. Not doing it, because I'm still saving in my car account. So no. And if the Lexus go, Stenell got the cash for something else. So you want to make sure that you have a car account, and that's your oven. So we have all the accounts going on, because let me tell you, when I went to pay off my Chrysler Aspen, y'all, and I'm serious, I'm gonna give you real figures. When I had to pay off my Chrysler Aspen, I purchased my Chrysler February 6, 2008. I paid it for $25,007.25. I took this off of, call it it's not the deed, but the paperwork that come back and say you own it. I am so serious. I paid exactly $40,714.40 within the time frame I had. I had it for 4 years. That's 15.39%. 15.39%. So I paid $40,740. So I paid approximately $15,707.15 in interest. That's ridiculous. Here I am driving away in my future. I didn't even have that in my bank account. I didn't have that in my IRA. I'm paying this in my future, and a lot of us are. A lot of us are driving around in our future, in our cars, and I'm like, I can't do this. I am not doing this. So the other method was a way for me to say, hey, let me take my time. Let me save for a decent car. So I don't really give you an amount, but for me, you can save. I wouldn't go over 15,000. So you can save up to 10,000. I wouldn't go over 15,000. That may take you 3 years, but you still driving around in your car, paying your car note, but make sure you're intentional, so this don't be your forever. I'm trying to get you to change your mind, change your mindset of how you think and how you think about money. Because now what I do with that $537.50 that I was paying monthly for my car, not including Tony's $527 for his Maxima, now that money is going in our IRA and it's being funded. So you want to make sure that you're intentional. So all these burners are all aligned. We have our number 1, our debt, number 2, our emergency, number 3, our car maintenance, and number 4, our personal lives, and then our oven. Again, you're spending maybe $500 a month savings in these areas, so that way you don't have to go rob Peter and Paul when Christmas comes. You don't have to go and rob Peter and Paul when you want to go on vacation, because again, that personalized can be your vacation. If you're a vacation person, then I would make it my vacation, because we're vacation people. Now keep in mind, when I did this, when I was doing this with Days Ramsey, I had a vacation account, always had a Thanksgiving account. I had little money coming out. Literally, I was spending $550 a month. It was so little, but it added up. So every time Thanksgiving, I had a Thanksgiving account only because Thanksgiving is important. In my family, we go all out. So by the time Thanksgiving came, we had a couple $100. Christmas came, we were good. We were good. We planned accordingly. You want to make sure you have all these different burners going on. You plug it in. I want you to visualize the spreadsheet. So when you have this spreadsheet and you plug in all your debt, you have your credit cards, so everything is set up on my spreadsheet. Again, you can get my spreadsheet at contact@StenellTheMoneyTherapist.com. So you have all this information on the spreadsheet. It's set out. You put your credit cards on there. Everything is categorized in color order for you. And it's an Excel spreadsheet. So in that Excel spreadsheet, it actually populates and it decreases, it subtracts the money. So that's why I said keep everything low, because at that end, what's left over in that debt, in that red part, what's left over, that's what you're going to be putting on your car note. So if your car note is $500 a month, you're going to be putting what's left over to get that car paid off. If your credit card is $250 and let's say Visa, your minimum balance is $40 a month, you're going to take whatever's left over in that debt for you to pay off that debt. If it's $500 or $300 left over, you're going to take that $300, you're going to add it to that 42. That's how you're going to get rid of your debt while you're still living. We're not going to stop living. We can't stop living. I would never teach you to stop living, because what it does with people that are not committed, and when I say not committed, meaning that it's just too much, it's just too hard. I knew I wasn't going to do that. So when I did Dave's plan, I just knew I needed to live, but I still did his plan, and it does work if you work it. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I had to live. Make sure that when you're doing that spreadsheet and you download that spreadsheet, that you are working out the plan. And I also have a YouTube video that teaches you how to use the spreadsheet. It says something about, it's called My Spreadsheet, and I'll put that information in the notes here on this podcast so that you'll be able to get the instructions that you need on YouTube. And I literally walk you through. There's a video that literally walks you through. And if you do go on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. I'm really committed to my podcast, but please subscribe to my channel. But I literally do teach you how to walk that spreadsheet, because you can't use the burner syndrome without the spreadsheet. You can't, because you'll be able to visualize that, and that's your different burners. So again, let's just recap. So you have your burner number one, which is your debt, which is your end, but you're going to knock that out. So even though it's burner number one, all your other burners 2, 3, and 4, it's a little amount of money, so that way you'll have more money to put on your debt. Okay, and you need your spreadsheet to do that. Burner number 2 is emergency. So you want to make sure in that emergency account that you're putting a minimum of $100 a month. It's an automated draft, at least $200 a month if you can. If you can. Now, in my spreadsheet, I do have a special circumstances. So you have to go and download my spreadsheet. You have to get my spreadsheet, and you can also get my spreadsheet at StenellTheMoneyTherapist.com. When you utilize that spreadsheet, or email me, I'll give it to you however you want to do it. When you get that spreadsheet, you will be able to see the special circumstances. That's a little gift for you. That's for people that have Social Security, people that gets welfare, all the different things that people don't think of, because this is real life. You know, some people are welfare. People have situations. I have assistance for you too. Again, we're going to recap. We have our burner number 1, which is the debt, and that's at the end. Burner number 2 is our emergency. That's automated. Burner number 3 is our car account. That car account, putting at least $60, no more than $60, max $75. And then you have your personalized for burner number 4. So that can be your vacation, weddings, whatever you want, whatever's important to you, whatever is important in your life, that is personalized to you. For me, it's vacations, pet care, whatever it is. And again, you can break this up. You can say, okay, I'm going to save for vacation for 6 months, and then I'm going to personalize something else, whatever you want to do. So make sure that you at least focus in $500 towards your life, towards what it is needed, so that way you are still living. And then we have that oven going on, so that car account, because you will need a car. Let's get out of debt, because now that you out of debt, you can take that money that you was paying to Toyota, or you was paying to Infinity, or you were paying to Mercedes, and you can put that in the IRA account. And we will have another podcast about that. So the burner syndrome, that stuff works. You know why? Because $50,000 debt free, me and Tony, within a year. $50,000. So it does work. So you want to make sure that you are living, and you are living intentional. You want to make sure that, listen, we need to get out of debt. All right? Because look, debt is not good. It's not good at all. So I'm going to have more information about money. What I'd like to do with the podcast is that the next podcast would be about entrepreneurship, and then the next one is a life skill. But if you want to talk about something, just send me an email. Tell me what topic you want to talk about, as long as it's in the 3 topics of money, entrepreneurship, and life skills. And hey, life skills cover anything. So just tell me, what the topic is and exactly what it is you want to talk about. Money is... it's no joke. And then when I talk about money again, I am also going to talk about the budget and the envelope system, and how the envelope system, we all hear about the envelope system, but how I use my envelope system and how that envelope system really do work. And you can utilize that envelope system with my budget. And when you go on YouTube, it walks you right through everything. So I hope that you really gain some information. And listen, money will either make you, ruin you, however you want it. You want to make sure that you're doing the right thing when it comes to your money, because budgeting is a key. You have to have a budget. It's true. You need a budget. And that's why I made sure that I created a spreadsheet, and I created a spreadsheet that works, a spreadsheet that literally works. I use the spreadsheet. And if you use the spreadsheet with the burner syndrome, you will be okay. You have your burners, okay? And then no burners, you want to make sure that everything is low. You're going to keep your money low. You're going to keep everything low. Let's recap. Burner number 1 is your debt. That's at the end. Number 2, your emergency. Number 3, your car maintenance. And number 4, personalized. And then you have that oven, which is your car account. Okay, now you do all of this, you will see a difference in your life. Give it 3 months. The next time we have a topic about money, I'm going to discuss my financial treatment plan, which is an obtainable goal, where you are, where you want to be, and how do you get there. I will show you exactly what I did, what I used, and I will also share that with you the next time we talk about money. So you stay tuned, and I will see you next week. We're going to talk all about entrepreneurship. Thank you for listening to No More Excuses, Wake Up. Each week I will discuss a topic about money, entrepreneurship, or life skills. If you love the show, please subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes or Spotify. To learn more about me and my different agencies and what I do, go to StenellMyersEnterprises.com. While you are there, click on Money Therapy Institute and watch my video where you will see me doing a little acting, showing you how I fought and kicked down closed doors. You can also click on Stenell the Money Therapist and get my free budget spreadsheet. And of course, you can email me at contact@Stenell the Money Therapist. I'm also on social media at Facebook at Stenell the Money Therapist, Instagram at No More Excuses, Wake Up, and Twitter at No More Excuses, Wake Up at Stenell Myers. See you next week.